Today I will introduce a breakfast dish using Somen noodles that matches wonderfully with egg soup. Hope the side dish recipes help your cooking too. And don't miss the delicious tomato chicken curry, which takes far less time to cook than regular curry. If you include a secret ingredient, you can make a richer, tastier curry. Take a guess. First, I'm going to make super tasty warm Somen noodles in egg soup and 3 side dishes. Let's start with quick Mizuna salad. Mizuna, also called potted mustard, is very tasty veggie and I like the texture. I will teach you how to eat it in a way that will make you addicted to it. Cut into bite-sized pieces and wash well. Remove water thoroughly. The ingredients to be combined with this is wakame seaweed. Rehydrate dry wakame in water or hot water. It's difficult to imagine how much the dry stuff can increase to. Sometimes I make a mistake and generate a large amount of wakame. You can change the amount to your liking, but I think I used about 2 tablespoons. Drain off the water thoroughly. Mizuna can be eaten raw, but today it's cooked in the microwave just a little bit at 500 watt for 1.5 minutes. This makes it easier for the flavor to soak in. Cut wakame seaweed into small pieces. This step is very important because many of them are large pieces. Prepare seasonings. Put grated garlic, chicken stock powder, soy sauce, sugar, sesame oil, and salt. Mix well. Are wakame seaweed and Mizuna sold in your country? The combination is quite delicious and should be tried. Mix this sauce with Mizuna and wakame. The Mizuna is drained before being put in the microwave, so it's not that watery. But it should be lightly drained again before being combined with the seasoning. Adjust the amount of salt to taste. If your wakame is sold with salt, wash and soak it in water to remove the salt before use. You can make a large batch and store it in the fridge. Next side dish is Daikon mochi. Mochi is a rice cake. It's gonna be a little chewy, delicious side dish. It's a delicious way to consume large quantities of daikon radish, which is good for you. Peel and grate the daikon. Cut in half before grating because it's large. This process is quite tiring. Although some sell a mixer-like device, I think this method produces better grated daikon. I think there is a grater that can make grated daikon more easily. I'll look for one next time. Grated daikon is very watery. Press lightly with hands to drain. Don't squeeze out all the water completely. It's okay to feel a little watery. I wanna add minced green onion. You can change the veggie if you want. And add minced ham. It's easier later if they're cut into very small pieces. Add dashi powder, potato starch, and flour. Mix well. I think this would taste even better with some corn in it. You can use imitation crab meat instead of ham. And you can experiment with various ingredients of your choice. Shape it into a round shape like this. If it's too thick, it will not cook well. I think this is about the right size. Oil the pan. Cook on one side over medium heat. Cook for a few minutes and turn over when the surface is brown like this. Pour a little sake. Cover and cook over low heat for 6 minutes. You can add it directly to the pan, but prepare the sauce in a bowl. Put soy sauce, mirin, and butter. Mix well. The daikon rice cake swelled a little. Add the sauce and toss with it. Turn the daikon cakes over so that the sauce is coated all over. When the sauce is nice and thick, it's ready to be served, but you need to finish it off. Roll up the nori seaweed. The flavor of this seaweed also adds to the deliciousness. It looks like a thin rice ball and looks cute. It's amazingly delicious eaten warm or even cold. Next, I'm gonna make fried enoki mushroom. This is the best mushroom dish I've ever had, and it really is a must try. Cut off the stem of enoki mushroom. Tear by hand to about this size. Season it with soy sauce, mirin, and garlic powder. Mix well. Then add potato starch and flour. Enoki is difficult to mix, so the two flours should be mixed in separate bowls beforehand. Coat enoki mushrooms with this powder. It may be a good idea to put the powder in several times. This completes the preparation before frying. Since they are thin, frying them in oil only takes about 2 minutes per side. Be careful not to heat it too high, as it will burn quickly. Even if the enoki mushrooms are not very crispy at this time, they will become crispy after a short while after being removed from the oil. The additional potato starch makes it easy to make them crispy. The seasoning was superb, and my husband and I seriously loved it. I may only cook enoki this way from now on. Finally, let's make somen noodles and the soup. Have you ever eaten somen noodles? The noodles are considerably thinner than udon noodles and are extremely smooth and wonderful to the palate. In Japan, it's often eaten cold in the summer, but it's also served in hot soups. Today, I'll introduce you to the best soup for the most delicious somen noodles. Somen is thin and can be cooked quickly. It only takes 1.5 minutes. Drain the water. Let's make the soup here. Put water, chicken stock powder, soy sauce, grated ginger. This is optional. Mix well and bring it to a boil. During this time, beat 2 eggs. Add beaten eggs to the boiling water to make fluffy eggs. The key is to boil the soup well in advance. Add imitation crab meat. With these 2 ingredients, you can make the simplest but most delicious soup in no time. Stir gently and turn off heat. Pour just a little bit of sesame oil to make it even more flavorful. My husband, who hates enoki mushrooms, repeatedly said they were delicious. I put a little red pepper on Mizuna salad. If the somen noodles become hard and hard to break apart a little time after being drained from the water, rinse them with water or hot water before putting them in the bowl. For a soup on top, you can put green onion. I use radish sprouts today. Have a nice morning with delicious somen noodles and soup. Next recipe is tomato chicken curry. You can make an exceptionally tasty curry by adding things you have in your home. Season the chicken first. This is Japanese curry powder made from turmeric, coriander, cumin, red pepper, and so on. Today I'm using chicken on the bone, but regular chicken thigh or breast will also work. Add sake, salt and pepper. Mix well to thoroughly soak up all the flavors. Next, mince onion. It should be as fine as possible because I will not cook that long today. Prepare grated garlic and grated ginger. Twist only the chicken is grilled on the surface.
なんか涙が出てきたんですけど。
玉ねぎ切ったからじゃない？
玉ねぎか。美味しそうなんですよね。これはさすがに味見したら怒られるやつだね。
そうだね。でも5個あるから1個味見してもいいよ。
マジ？
だけど煮込んでからがいいんじゃない？
そっか。
一番小さいやつね。
いいよ。でもついにです
よね。美味しそうだよね。これだけで食べて
も。スパイシーね。なんかもう昨日食べたいね。生姜となんか入れたの？
そう、生姜と玉ねぎ、あとトマトも使うよ。
これ何作ってるの？
これはチキンカレーです。
うわ、いい。
トマトチキンカレー。
最高のやつだ。この形の鶏美味しいよね。
うん。
何だっけ？グラム？
ドラムっていうんかね。わかんない。多分。ドラムってもっと大きいもの。
君できそうなのあるの？
ああ、後で取れば。
失礼します。
Remove the chicken once. Oil the pan. The key is to use a lot of oil. Fry onions until softened. Garlic and ginger are added later because they will burn if they are added with onion. I didn't add those two things so you can fry the onions over high heat. Add grated garlic and ginger here. Mix well. Add curry powder. Consomme. You can use your any stock powder. Sugar. Can you guys get this kind of curry powder by the way? You could buy the spices separately and mix them together. Add canned tomato. Whole tomatoes are included and crushed with a spatula. Add salt. There is no salt at all in the curry powder and canned tomatoes, so it's important to ensure that additional salt is added. Here's the key ingredient of this recipe that I mentioned earlier. It's milk. Adding milk gives it a creamy, rich flavor. It goes great with curry powder, so don't forget to add it. It becomes even richer if you add heavy cream instead. Also, yogurt can be substituted and it can add a refreshing taste. Return the chicken to the pot. Stirring occasionally, bring to a simmer. Turn the chicken over too to make sure it's cooked thoroughly. Cook until you have enough curry roux for 2 people.
こんにちは。
こんにちは。
めっちゃうまそうだな。
最後の仕上げです、これは。
蜂蜜？美味しい蜂蜜で。
1.5ぐらい。
アカシアの。
でもアカシアの蜂蜜は美味しいよね。
うまいっすね。
私の地元の買ってんだよね。
いいね。わお、すごいな。めっちゃ
そうなのよ。
うまそう。どうだろう、ちょっと味見してみるか。
ちょっと待って、ちょっと混ぜてから。あとバター入れるとだいぶさらにコクが出るから、最後にバターを入れるんですけど、
でちょっと一回
バター入れる前に食べるの？
うまい。確かにバターがあった方がいい。
ちょっとバターを入れてから味見して、で必要であれば塩をちょっと足した方がいいんだ。Add butter. Butter should be added after the heat is off to give it a stronger flavor. 結構ね、塩はね、入れた方がね、美味しいよね。
美味しい。
これは。
わーお、バター。もうなんていうの、カレーって匂いでそそられるよね。お腹が減る。食べてみよう。あ、全然コク出るね。
全然違う。
はるかに違う。うまい。
Add a little more salt at the end. The saltness will vary depending on the curry powder and canned tomatoes you use, so be sure to taste before adding more. It's ready to serve. Pour the roux over rice. Enjoy your chicken too. Try making this creamy, rich tomato chicken curry.